Reiger Park, a small township situated in Boksburg that struggles with persistent delays in ambulance services. One heroic volunteer medic, Kevin Koopman, has become a lifeline during critical moments of life and death. He navigates through a landscape where there is a shortage of 6,625 emergency services staff, according to the latest statistics provided by provincial health spokesperson Motalatale Modiba, which remains a rather pressing concern.
So my name is Kevin Koopman. I'm from Reiger Park, staying in the flats. Been residing here for almost over 36 years. I've been in the emergency service for plus minus 14 years. It all started off as a dream in primary school, which became a reality after 14 years. So when I saw the need in our community is when I was volunteering at the fire department 2 years. I volunteered for 2 years at the fire department, so I saw that there's a need for first responders in our community. So I started it, and this is where we are today. With the response time, it's really a problem because there's ambulances, but there's no staff. So we are sitting with a problem whereby you will get 5 ambulances and then only 4 is operational or 3 is operational. So we really sit with the shortage of staff at our ambulance bases, which means most people doesn't want to take this as a career. So they will rather decide to go into IT, into business, but they don't want to go into emergency services. For me, going to scenes, I don't have a car, so that's one. Number 2, equipment, because we have to keep on using our equipment, and it's difficult to buy it, especially when you are one man running this thing. The outcome can be either a person losing his life, but most of the time I'm trying my best. I will always see if what I do is I'll phone the people, find out what is going on, so that we can get the private ambulance out, knowing that they're going to be first on scene, because we know with our government ambulance they are forever busy. So that's what I do. Phone the caller, find out what is going on, try and get out the private ambulance service to go and assist them so that we can get an ambulance quick to them and take the patient to hospital. Other than that, I will always advise them, take the patient to hospital with the car. Yeah, we have ways, but the thing is this, we will always encourage people if there's an emergency, rather take the patient with the car to hospital. It's the best way. Patient is going to be quick at hospital, patient is going to be sick quickly. While waiting for an ambulance, the patient can lose his life.
As we unpack the vital work of Kevin, we hear firsthand from one of the patients he has helped during moments of distress.
My name is Angelo. I got stabbed in January, in middle of January. Me and my Bangladesh had an altercation, and then he ended up stabbing me. No, they took time. Like, I wasn't involved in the provincial calling the ambulance, but literally they took time. My mind was all over the place. What would happen if I died, and how can life come to an end while you're still planning your next week? Basically, he helps to stop the bleeding. And when we got to the hospital, they said that I lost a lot of blood. So if he wasn't there, I wouldn't have made it. There was only one way. I would have passed away that day. But thanks to him, I'm still here.
When Kevin Koopman's volunteer services are not available, the community struggles with access to emergency services. This is a rather pressing concern. Emergency services were contacted numerous times via email for a response, but has not responded yet. Instead, we speak with a local health activist for more insight.
My name is Virginia Kepler-Young, and I am the CEO of Riatusa We Help. It's an organization that fights for senior citizens, vulnerable people, and children, especially senior citizens in hospitals and frail care centers and old age homes. I'm also the National Media Liaison Officer for the United Independent Movement. So yeah, I think one of the biggest problems is there's a shortage of about 6,650 ambulances. And with that said, Gauteng is a huge province. I mean, we have a lot of migrants in this province, and we need at least about 1,700 or 800 ambulances to serve our people. That will still not be enough, but at least that's a number that we're looking for. And apart from that, we look at how ambulances are being attacked, staff are being robbed and assaulted, and they rob the ambulances of all their equipment. So those are one of the contributors of why we have a shortage of ambulances. Yeah, there was an instance once that I actually attended myself because the people called and nobody responded. I myself called and the ambulance service just said it's too dangerous, they're not coming out. It was in the middle of the night. And even though we sort of, said we will meet you at the police station or we'll meet you halfway, they just said no, they're not coming. In the end, it was an older lady in her 80s. She broke her hip. I can tell you one thing there, because it's not just the emergency services. It's not just the ambulances responding. Sometimes the ambulances do respond, especially when you take someone to the clinic or someone ends up at the clinic. The clinic then requests an ambulance and they will dispatch one. So this is it's not just a systematic problem of ambulances not coming out, but it's a whole system that is flawed. It doesn't work. From the police to the guys working on the ground, because it is so. Our guys are in danger, especially in some areas. In some areas you find that the road is not conducive for our ambulances to go in. And then they will request people to carry the sick person to the main road. It's a lot of things. And Kevin is someone that I really look up to because of what he does. He's a paramedic, as I understand. And then he volunteers his time in the community where people have to wait for paramedics, but he goes out and he tries to volunteer his time. And I really salute him for what he does. We as volunteers work, I always say it's the most unappreciative thing that you can do, because you work for mostly very ungrateful people. They need you now, and when they're done needing you, they discard you. Or they address you as if they pay you or the state pay you. Most of the time, activists doesn't get a cent from any organization or the state. We do this because of the love for our people and for just trying to make things easier for our communities. Myself, when I look at what Riatusa does, Riatusa, we fight against a system that has no political will to fix itself. And so we say, okay, let's just continuously expose them until maybe they can open up and say, okay, now it's time for us to address these issues. Because they say people must go and complain at the hospital. Someone who doesn't get an ambulance must go and complain to the state, to the health department. I say, how in God's name can you go and lay a complaint against your abuser at your abuser? There needs to be an independent body where people can go and lay complaints. Now they will say, yes, there's the health ombudsman, people can go there. They actually also mean absolutely nothing. If we look at the SCD cases, some of those people never got their redress. So they cannot force the state to do their work. Nobody can force the state to do their work. And the ordinary person on the street doesn't have the money to take them to court.
As the community of Reiger Park continues to grapple with the scarcity of ambulance services, Kevin Koopman stands as a beacon of hope, bridging the gap between distress and aid. His selfless dedication and innovative approach to emergency care serves as a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Reporting from Reiger Park, this is Theon Kendra Jacobs, highlighting the unsung heroes who makes a difference in the face of overwhelming challenges.